Some seeds comes with magic in it. Yes, you will know real soon. But before that, there's a thing about this very special about gentle stories, right? The moment we are born, from the moment we are born, we live through the stories. We grow up learning Mahabharata, Ramayana, and little later we discover about superheroes. Peter Pan, Spider-Man, and then the list goes on. And then comes the stories of civilizations. Roman, Aryan, Dravidian, and we learn about the greatest kings, philosophers, revolutionists, dreamers, and so on. You know, these stories are about a century-year-old, but it never stops inspiring us. And there is this thing about the story. It just does not entertain us, it shapes us eventually, until we become the stories ourselves. You know, there's a beautiful quote by Nelson Mandela. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. But if you talk to him in his own language, that goes to his heart. I think stories are that exact language. And honestly, I'm going to rephrase this for 21st century people. A conversation may reach a mind, but a great story will always find its way to the heart. Tonight, we are going to celebrate stories that inspire, uplift, challenge, and transform us. Alright, here. So I'm going to ask a quick question. Who in here believes in science, physics? Please raise your hands. Who believes in physics, science? None. Most of us do. What an absurd question, right? I mean, the world revolves around it, and of course, at one point of our life, we must have read about or heard about aerodynamics, body mass, and intense physics calculations. And there is a thing called bumblebee. You know, according to all laws of aerodynamics, bumblebee cannot fly. Its body weight is not in the right proportion to its wingspan. Ignoring these laws, the bumblebee flies anyway. This is one of the beautiful chapter in this book which I wanted to share with you all. And better never stops the beautiful reflection of that spirit. Moving forward, this book reached your hands. Before it became a title, it began as an idea that's shaped by experience, leadership, dull moments, and even the hard lessons, that constant pursuit of becoming better than yesterday. So sit back, feel the energy in the room. Let's take a look of that story behind the story. And this is how BNS came to life.
Meeting in 2017, Shyam attended a small gathering of CEOs with Satya Nadella. Amidst the high-level conversations, Satya casually mentioned about how a firm had benefited from using an internal social networking tool called Yammer. The conversation moved on from there quickly. Shyam didn't. He went back to the bank with a single question. What is this? And why aren't we using it? He nagged the team until they got it up and running. And it was indeed transformational. It flattened the hierarchy and opened direct lines between frontline staff and leadership. But it also gave Shyam something else entirely, a Sunday morning ritual of writing to all the Federal Bank employees, sometimes reflecting, sometimes motivating, often using cricket as an anchor, but always nudging his folks to go one step better. Every Sunday for 7 years, 365 posts of insight and wisdom. His colleagues at Federal Bank compiled them into a book themselves. When he hit 100, out came 100 weeks of wisdom. Just before his retirement came, simply put, all the 365 Sunday Yammer posts in one book. Although he didn't set out to become a writer, he became one because he just never stopped. But in September 2024, he retired from Federal Bank. And for the first time in 7 years, there was no one to write to. A gap that didn't sit right. Then one morning in March 2025, on a complete whim, he wrote a LinkedIn post. It got traction. One led to another. The weekly ritual came back. This time, not just for his team, but for anyone listening. And then people started asking, when is the book coming? 365 Sunday posts. A year of LinkedIn writings. Not to forget the 14 annual letters to shareholders. The raw material had been there all along. But how to go from here? Around this time, he came across an article on Hindu Business Line about a publishing startup called Wiser. He loved backing youngsters, so he reached out. They got talking, and it became real. What followed was 100 days of writing on flights, in airports, in temple queues, between cricket innings, sometimes while dreaming. Every available minute found its way in, and every chapter was written with a particular song playing in the background, all of which made to the book. When he finished writing, his wife Maya became the pilot. She re-scripted, pruned, and polished the words into a marvelous draft. Illustrations were added. The cover was finalized, and then it arrived. A Yammer post that became a ritual that became a habit that became a book that you'll hopefully love. Better never stops.
But the making of the mindset. I think everyone in this room can now feel why the book is called Better Never Stops. Moving forward, some people lead organization and some inspire people. There are rare individuals who does both effortlessly. Tonight, the book is about growth, resilience, learning, and constantly becoming better than yesterday. And honestly, there could not have been a more meaningful person to bring these thoughts to life. Because Mr. Shyam is not just another author for tonight, he is a leader who has inspired through words, followed by action, simplicity, vision, and the rare ability to connect with people beyond titles and positions. And that's what's special about this book, It is real and it feels so personal. It will not be, when you read, you will have like a conversation that goes filled with stories, experiences, life lessons that are going to stay with you so long after you flip the last page. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the incredible person and the author of BNS, Mr. Shyam Srinivasan.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. 2 years back, when I was in the bank, we actually do it, coming up to 2 years since I left the bank. And I used to enjoy the stage and I was missing it, so this evening is the first time I'm back on stage talking to you. So my ramble is excused. If you had a chance to go through the book, and I hope you will, I began the book with talking about my parents, a lovely wife, and ended the book by thanking the divine. Prayer to the universe, thank the divine, and then talk about everything. Maya in the book, in one of the finest pieces of the book is the letter that she's written, talks about my contact with the divine. And somehow she feels that I have an invisible connect with the divine. And I have to say, indeed it is. That God has cradled me all my life. Today, this is a fulfillment of that. And I thank everybody here on the street. Especially, I think my parents are watching, so a round of applause and a big thank you to my parents. And I don't know if many people will have a chance to present the book to the parents, so thank you. Not only parents, in-laws. Not only in-laws, my lovely nieces and nephews. So thank you for everybody. My entire family is here. So thank you. But I think the family is just not my siblings, my brothers-in-law, my nieces, my nephew. It's the bunch of people I've worked with. You'll be surprised, in this room, there are people who started out with me in kindergarten. Yes, I said it. We have friends from class 2. I think there are about 14 of them. Right? I have friends from my school days, another 20 of them. I have childhood friends who our parents were friends of. They are here. My engineering mates are here. My IIM buddies are here. And of course, Maya is one. My whole community of people whom I work with is City Standard Chartered and now the PS Group. To everybody, a big, big thank you. I have friends who are really from there. That usually doesn't happen. So I am privileged, honored that everybody's here. The video talked about how this book came to be. I can't ramble for long, but I tell you, I'm not a writer. I wasn't one. Many of my schoolmates called me spaghetti. You were the class last bencher, where the hell did you start writing? But I think life gives you such an outstanding opportunity, and because somehow, as I'm growing is I said two things to myself: just don't give up and just show up. To me, showing up and not giving up is this. I think all of us, I think this book in my mind is actually an opportunity for all of us to think about. I only expressed in words the experience is not of just of mine, but anybody I've come across. And many are from the field of sports, as you would have figured out, I'm an obsessive cricket lover. And if the hands that took that famous Vivian Richards catch,
wonderful time I had in here because one, I look like a North Bengal, but I'm North Indian. I'm here with you people, and Shyamji, only thing I can say, first, tell these people stop looking at the phone all the time and start reading. People forgotten reading. You write book, what is the point if they can't read? They don't have time for it. I think it's important we should go back and start giving time to the basic. Everybody on the phone, get up in the morning, first thing see the phone, not even newspaper. So I was thinking, what should I say? I just want to say, all of you, try to read 2 pages. Why I'm saying 2 pages? Because that's the capability I have to read more than that. Because you people are very, very educated, you can read a lot. Me, take time. That's why I got married to a woman who can, like you, who she can read and I can listen. It was, I remember, is that okay to tell stories? I mean, storytellers are the best people in this world. Not the story writer, the storyteller. Writer are very simple. Storytellers are the best in this world. The way they describe. You know, they talk about my cat. It's nothing. It went in the air and took the cat. But I'm telling you from storyteller explained that. He said, you should have seen Kapil. His eyes were focused. Focus every day, they say. But you should have seen his walk. The clouds were there, the sun was coming out, and he was running like you never see. I run every day the same. That's the storyteller. So I always admire people who tell the stories. And there is 2 types of people. People who make a story, people who tell the story. What we did, it's not a big thing. The way people explain, that's a big thing. How we won the World Cup. It's not we played and we won. But the storyteller are the people. They give you in your head. A lot of people during that period never had television. And everybody has a story to tell. Everybody. We didn't have television. We went to the neighbor's house, and the neighbor didn't allow us to come in the house. So these type of stories were the most beautiful story. We did our best, whatever we could, but end of the day, you people enjoy. That's the most biggest story than anything else. I was sitting in the room and we were talking to the press person, somebody come from Hindu, and he was asking me a few questions. I was just relating myself. I didn't play for you. I played for myself. Honestly, I played for myself, but you enjoy it. That's give me the kick. If somebody says, I played for the nation, no, first I played for myself. Understand, that is the truth, that is the reality. When I picked up bat and ball, I never realized I would play for India. But when you start playing for India, he has a passion to play. I had a passion as a kid to play only. Because I was horrible in the class, so I started playing cricket. Football gave only one hour to in the class. You know, come back. Cricket gave me 3 days shooting. And I enjoyed that, you know. And I'm a case of dyslexia. Dyslexia has a very big problem. Today's kids is not a problem. In our time, they didn't know what is dyslexia was, what 50 years back. And I used to read 713731 because that's the capability I have. In our time, the teacher was so hard. Your spelling, your numbers. Some of the old people say yes. They remember their time, right? Yeah. And that's what it used to happen. So I used to hate going into the class because वहाँ तो पिटाई होगा मेरी. So I used to run away, and that's how I ended up here playing, trying to avoid. But that's not important. Thank you very much. I think, Shyam, you've done a wonderful job. You brought your thought into that. I wish I can do one day bring my thought, but I can't do that. I need my wife's help. That's why I'm listening, no? She said yes. And because I realized that writing a book is a very, very beautiful thing, but we don't do justice. And today, people not ready to listen the negative side of it. They all want to see the good side. There is other side also. So I said, no, I can't write. And when you pick up the pen, which you did, and I know that you were honest, you don't have to make anybody happy. When you write a book or write anything, you have to make sure you are honest to yourself. Being dishonest to other people, it's okay. When you're dishonest to yourself, you are not going to achieve in this world what you are there for. That's why I said, I don't go to cricket because I will say things which people won't like it if I run away. Because I'm happy and content. My life is only one thing. What I can pick up positive in every day. And that's what the life is all about. I'm not very intelligent. People who I'm sitting, they are intelligent. And the best part about your book is better never stop. Better never stop learning in this world. I think that's the key word, learning. And thank God I played cricket and I learned lots and lots of things meeting people like you. I want to wish you all the luck. And I hope you write more books also. And I get you invite me also. What is the point? We write the putting Bulaiga to one. So good luck to you. And I think you put your mind and soul. I hope people can enjoy. People don't have time to read. Again, come back to that. You must start reading. That's give you the strength. Not only sticking to the mobile phone all the time. It's good to have mobile, but when the time comes, like few of them are just taking photographs. No. Be here, be for that moment. We are here, let's enjoy this evening and we'll tell the story next day. Thank you very much once again. Here's the first word.
Thank you, Kapidev sir, for your beautiful stories and insights. You know, sir, I have variants. Now I'm gonna go a slower one. Yes. So, a great book comes with even more meaningful when it's turning into a beautiful conversation. And that's exactly what we are about to witness now. To lead this very special session, we have someone whose voice, respect, presence, and every dialogue memorable. A person known for asking right questions, creating engaging conversations, and bring out stories people genuinely love. absolute pleasure to invite India's most respectable media voices, Mr. Anand Narasimhan sir. Please join me in welcoming him.
Namaskaram, Vanakkam Chennai. Obviously, it's good to be here. Now, when you have somebody who set the trailblaze like this, an introduction and a keynote like that, it's a very tough act to follow. Correct? So I'll try and do my best. And the other thing is so humbling, and I want to thank Shyam for thinking of me and also asking me to come down. Because this is a stage full of leaders, stage full of achievers. Each person from the far corner till here has contributed, has done, has worked through obstacles. So it's a leadership lesson in itself. So if I'm going to ask them questions about the book, then I better start with the cover. So why don't you tell me who's who? These two gentlemen we know. The person next to him, who's that? Sir, Indian sir. T.T.S. Srinivasan. Sundaram Finance. Correct. See, what are the recalls? How do you associate each person with? The person next to him? Gopal? TVS Capital. See, associations. These are all things that they have built, they are associated with. Person next to him? Mithun Jal Sancheti? Carrot Lane. So you know which lane he is on. Okay. And the far person there? So we know who's the most popular person. That's what Gopal is saying.
He is Mali the owner.
He's Mali the owner. Okay. So let's start with Mali only, the most popular voice. So, what do you infer from the name, the cover? Better never stops. What does that mean?
I had something else in mind to start with. You stopped me with this actually.
That's my job.
I would imagine I would replace better with Shyam. Shyam never stopped getting better.
Shyam never stopped getting better. That means after so many years, you still believe there is scope for improvement.
This is the last nice thing I would say about Shyam.
I don't know if it was a nice thing to say, that he's still not stopped improving. But still, even then, if you were to apply better never stops to yourself, what would it imply?
I'll keep it this way. Shyam and I go back 45 years. Okay, we've been through a lot of tough times and some good times.
Okay.
And I know my Maya for 41 years. 40 years.
So who's had a tough time then?
Me and Maya had a tough time. Both.
I can't get excited here.
I should say something about
See,
Shyam.
when you have a room full of family, this is what you're going to get. They have come not here to toast you, they have come here to.
Something about Shyam I should say. And so, see, he talks about, there's a favorite story we hear many times, the tenacious blend. Okay. I've explained many of these lessons directly in person with Shyam. So, the year of 84 December, both of us were I and Cat together. He's mentioned this in the book. So, both of us were on the waiting list. I was waiting list number 68. Shyam was waiting list number 69. And that is called.
And you're still friends! And you're still friends!
No, that's not the job, right? So, that's not the end of the story. He was tenacious to go back and get into Iron Calcutta without a waiting list directly next year. And I knew why he got in because Maya was trying that.
So he had better motivation.
Yes.
But I'm still going back to you picked him. How is he? How are you still friends?
Maya is in that.
Where you want to say Okay, who are the 14 people? Where are your schoolmates? Sir, where are you? Sir, I'm the way. Let me come there. See, this is one thing I and Shyam have in common. He can't write, I can't write. He loves to speak, I love to speak. He loves the stage, I love the stage. And we all like to change the brief. When they say sit down and do, the first thing I'll do is not sit down and do. Okay, here are this row. Yeah, yellow t-shirt kodana almost solidada. You have to, huh?
OCD t-shirt. OCD. Wait till I So clearly, I worked as a doctor. So another one of my friends went to his house. He picked up mine. And this guy arrived.
Thanks, Shyam, for
Is it fitting properly?
Yeah, it is.
OC t-shirt, first wash, kapra paraya.
Very serious.
Okay, but was he really a good cricket player? It's precise, you got a scorecard, run there like.
Actually, he was a very good batsman. He was also a good wicketkeeper. It's not so much about that. And that's it. This was a match in the house between two. There was a school. One group was the other. So the batsman had played. All together. This guy was wicketkeeper. Both the batsmen had answered like that. Ball filling would happen that way. You read down the cooling part, that's the 30%. We still remember that, okay?
See what they remember. That is why better never stops. Still trying, but
Other match, this guy played a wonderful innings. Opposite side there was one guy, Venkatesh, state school ground. And this guy was very sublime. It just of the middle of the night flew. So next day, I used to speak well at school. So pointed, I want to pay say, but pen on gift after top. And so I school principal boy. So we said some old timers saw there and gave us an asked us to give it to him or something. I don't know if the Shyam remembers that. But
who is the friend there with whom they wanted to erase the scorecard and bribe coach Audi Shetty? That friend is not there. That story is also fantastic. Okay, who's read the book? Yosh kahi book hai. Koi suna bichu hai. Okay, who's read the book? See, no, I know that. Okay, in what page number is Mr. Gopal Srinivasan mentioned? I said I'll catch you. Huh? Yeah, guessed sir. Book cricket. This is not book cricket. Oh, no, guessing. Okay, and what is the context? Okay, you don't remember the page. What is the context with which Gopal Srinivasan is mentioned? Very interesting concept. From our Vedic philosophy. No? Prarabdha. So explain Prarabdha, Gopalji. How did this conversation happen? He's taken Prarabdha and made some other relation altogether. The subsequent page I was shocked. Such a deep thing, and then he put it with some other, what was that comparison, sir? I read it. I'm reading right now. I know the page number also. But sir, explain Prarabdha. Sir, mic is in front of you. He's saying Gopal Srinivasan is a champion at this. It's on.
So Shyam and I have this long rambling conversations every week, and we cover just about everything that can be covered. So in some sense, I think the context was how did we ever get together? I think if I remember that was one of the conversations that we had. I have admired him from far, saying man is transforming this bank, left some multinational and sitting there in some Cochin and doing amazing stuff. So I used to visit him also. Then I discovered that his father and my father had the same name. Then I discovered that his physics teacher and my physics teacher, the same physics teacher, though we were in different schools. Then I discovered that the first job that he went to and the first job I went to the same company. So this, in my mind, has to be attributed to some past karma.
Thank God you didn't say you dated the same woman also.
Thank God.
So I think that was the context.
So Prarabdha. you know what he equated it with? Party making dosa. From Prarabdha, within 3 paragraphs, some party making dosa and then philosophy again, and he said,
Lead-and-thrust effect.
but before he got to Lead-and-thrust effect, I said, Prarabdha, dosa. What logic is this? But that's what Shyam has done in the book. He's made sense of something which uniquely across just 2 pages, 132 and 133, will look very, very random, but he's brought context to that beautifully in the book. If I may ask you, TTS, have you read the book? Which is your favorite part?
Lots of things, but paper score was the one that, because we generationally we are from the same generation, he's a few years younger, but this paper score was absolutely the biggest thing in life when you were in school. And he of course writes ruefully about how he got to 23 and the whole story about Aitel Amma.
Just 3 runs, 11 runs, completely
relatable, 100% relatable. And because as schoolboys, in our minds, each one of us was either Tiger Pataudi or Deshima or somebody, the next one waiting to happen.
Absolutely.
All those dreams in our heads, and by the time we got to class 9 or 10, Appa Amma came out with the pyramid of Maryadya Padi.
Sir, Tata lage Sida, Padai karo bas hai.
All those dreams then melted away. But that's such a strong bond, right? Of growing up, idolizing it at a time when there was none of this fancy stuff, there was no glamour, no TV, like this, listening to radio commentary. So,
No, but that's also the concept of cheating. Just to do something to get ahead.
but the thought crossed your mind,
Yeah.
but you scarcely had the guts to actually do it. Right? It was very tempting.
Yeah, but he relates that with saying, what are you going to tell your mom? Yeah, Mama get away and so that's the whole thing. But after some time, Mama is in different house, you're in different house, how you
No,
going to
but now goes back to I think what Kapil said. Honesty with yourself, you have to wake up and look at yourself
In the mirror.
every day. I think that's the point.
Yeah. See, the only person you cannot lie to is the person you see in the mirror. So that's the reason why. At that time, at that age, your mirror is your mother. And one person who you worship to a certain extent, for a lot of people, that's what it is. Now, Mithun Sanjay, he also talks about one part. He talked about tenacity, also doing the boring thing. I'm going to bring Kapil sir after that, on that. To do the same thing every day, again. This is the most boring part. What for you stood out in the book?
I think, all the people here have possibly known him more from a distance and only in the last 2 years really got to know him. No, you know what? I beat you there.
Oh, because this is the first time I'm spending so much time in this job.
Okay. So, for me, and it's in many ways it's about, you tend to idolize a few people in life as well also, and I've always felt that, and I've told him this as well also, what I feel and how I think about it. And so the humanizing of the person in some form, a letter that Maya wrote for me is, I think, it was just very special to read that and just to get to know him better through that. I think I really enjoyed that part.
So that means you've not gone beyond the first chapter.
I'm a man that he likes the songs in every one of those as well.
That's another thing which he's written in the foreword, that every chapter has a song, so don't mind. So that's also that before the first chapter. But sir, let me ask you, when you became test captain in January 83, sometime, uske baad, by the time you won your first, everybody asks you about your Zimbabwe knock, your World Cup win, but I'm going to ask you the 4 years that it took for you to win your first test as captain. How easy or difficult was it to say, correct? How easy or difficult is it to get up in the morning and say, wahi 10 kilometer daudna hai, wahi running karna hai? How easy or difficult?
If you achieve it, it's easy. If you don't achieve it, it's difficult. batsman difficult to bowl is whom I can't get him out. Even number 11. Batsman can get him out, it's no difficult. The similar thing. Once you can achieve what you're planning, it's not difficult. It's just the planning. And that's more important. I think sometimes you don't work so hard for that. You're looking for the result. We are looking for the fun on the field. And we used to say, just enjoy yourself. Enjoyment will bring so much fun to you. Even you're singing or writing or doing anything, when you're having fun with that work, the work is very simple and easy. And always, I come from a different background. I didn't come from the cricketing background. And cricketing background have very stiff ideas. Aisa karna, this is the way to play. I come from an agriculture background and only do it.
He's also written about farming and farmers.
And farmer is the only thing. When I entered the team, and they used to call me JB. In front of me, James Bond. Behind me, Jagudi. Thick skin. They used to say thick skin. But that's what I was. Nothing wrong with that. And I used to say, I learned a lot of things from these cultured people. Honestly. But no, I learned a lot of things from these culture people, but they didn't learn anything from agriculture person.
Sir, I don't have brilliantly said. See, because they will do, and this is something Shyam brings up at different points of the book differently, that you got to keep believing in the process, and you got to keep doing the boring things to get the result. So I will come back and ask you again, time and again, you do the same things. आप ball पुराना आपका वही है, मेहनत आपकी वही है, ball भी वही डल रही, but the result would be different. Would that not play on you to say, why? I'm doing everything right, why? But still go back to the
result is not in my hand. Because I'm a bowling. When a bowler bowls, there is no ball in this world which batsman can't hit or can't play. He made a mistake, I get wicket. But only thing is how many times I keep on bowling to a better spot is my job. But there is no ball in this world where say you bowl this, you will get wicket. That's it.
Amazing. When athletes say it's fantastic, when Krishna tells Arjuna in the Gita that you do your karma, result is not in your hand, fruit of the effort is not in your hand, nothing in your hand. You process and this is the only thing you can control. Of course not against this. But anyway, so these concepts remain with us. We learn.
Why didn't you ask me, have you read the book? All the way we have fun.
Yeah, I know that. I know that. See, my point is, either I try and yoke you or you do hit wicket. So right now the hit wicket has happened.
It wasn't a bouncer.
No, not at all. So आपने किताब पढ़ी है?
It's a Yorker.
नहीं आपने पढ़ी है?
पागल है क्या? 3 साल लगे तो पढ़
अब आपको पता चला why I didn't ask you if you read the book.
I will translate. I said, if I'm a good student, then I wouldn't have sitting here. To me, I read one page 5 times to understand what is written.
That's why I didn't ask you why I read the book.
Yeah, that's why I thought I'd tell them. Don't ask me that.
I didn't ask you.
It takes me at least 6 months to go through. After that, I'll answer what's written there.
You know what I was about to ask, sir? I was about to ask how many people came here for Kapil Dev? How many people came here for Shyam.
I thought for That's it.
So here's the equation. We came for Kapil came for Shyam, hence we came for... No sir, just kidding. One person I have to talk to. He said he'll take 3 years to read the book. How long did you take to write the foreword?
To be honest, just took a few minutes because, as I say over there, when I started reading the book, I just read one chapter, and it just brought so much. It's a whole life over there, right? And even one story just takes you back in time.
Half the time you were there doing his job, from making inventory, writing, computer, everything, helping him late into the night. Oh, my wife was there, I was wondering, okay, so she was there here, she's written the foreword, has she written the book, that was it.
Come home and tell you this story.
Lovely, put your hands together for her. What a lovely lady. Thank you. Anybody wants to ask something? Great, I'm doing a good job. Okay, now to Shyam. One passage or one chapter which was the most difficult for you to write. I know you were standing in some random queue and you got some idea, you went on idea for a match, you got an idea, but one chapter was the most difficult for you to write.
And I say this, you say, again you're talking about your wife, but I have to say. The googly she threw me was that we were taking this long drive, one of those rare occasions, and I was listening to all the entire days. She said, you talk so much about leadership. Can you really write a story about each of these songs? So it took me a heck of a lot of effort to take 18 or 17 songs, connect back to events in life, and bring out some leadership here. And she promised me that if I didn't refer to cricket, she would turn off the Spotify. So I did not refer to cricket, and she did not turn off the Spotify, except in a couple of occasions. So writing that whole thing, without referring to cricket, bringing in leadership yarn from songs was quite a challenge.
Answer, fantastic answer. Sorry, I moved on to the next question. I saw Main Hoon Down, I saw Beatles, Simon Garfunkel. Tamil part only partly. Yes, sir. You don't listen to Tamil music.
That is all right now. I did not hear that song.
Sir, I was just trying to put you in the spot, sir. Tamil Nadu, Chennai,
No, I did not know Indian was.
So,
I don't speak Tamil.
are you satisfied with the answer?
Happy.
Are you satisfied with the answer? We will take it offline. We'll take it offline.
Full-time support.
I am proud of that. Okay. For you, the best part, the best passage? Passage from the book.
Okay. Beauty about Shyam is that he's so organized for this. You're going to be on the stage, so you read it. I'm going to set you a quiz the day before we go on stage. That's so much micromanagement. Okay, Shyam, so perfect. For me, the funniest part of the
He didn't say that to everybody.
Oh, he knew everything. You see, the passage which actually appears to be in retrospect is the will over skill.
Yeah.
We're all engineers. Shyam also came REC. You've seen here. We had it 1 year earlier. And I am Calcutta was a quantum piece. Like, statistics and all, I never understood numbers. I understood words. Okay, so you used to struggle. And realization, I realized my will over skill got required in Calcutta. Okay. And literature graduate Maya was maxing statistics actually. So the will over skill, I realized now had a different connotation then, and later in life, when you look at attitude and stuff like that. So Shyam for me is somebody who identified talent very well. Though he never acknowledged anything about me, that's another story. But Shyam is such a wonderful people with good with people. I want to say this out of my heart that he embodied what he thought of his favorite
saying that Dravid was a cricketer India needed. Yeah.
So there was a nice guy, nice guys finish first. Don't finish first, but I'm the dad is now.
You're emotional like this. You're emotional. I can feel it. I can feel the vibe. Gopal sir, you came prepared with a lot of things, no? Who's going to be a guest star? So what is that? What notes are you prepared? Claude. Okay. Why didn't you read something? What you would like to mention? What stood out? The most difficult question that you could remember out of it.
I think, I only got to know Shyam very recently closely. And as Mani said, he's a phenomenal people leader. Phenomenal. I have never had a chance to work with a person like him. Now that he's with us and he's happy also. The thing I really like that I observe him a lot, and many things. But one thing that stands out to me, right? Normally when people have achieved a lot, they know everything. Whereas I see that because he's working in totally new areas, he is willing to say, I don't know anything. And willing to start with the beginner's mind. He talked about the meter resets every morning. I think that is so important. George Bernard Shaw used to say, the person with a truly open mind is a tailor. But every time I go to him, he measures me from scratch again.
Correct.
So I think Shyam has that very innately in him. I really like that story because a senior executive is like, okay, I know all the answers, I tell you what to do. Sometimes becomes their natural, let's say, vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know, so what? I figure it out. And because he's a very good people leader, he listens to every person in the organization. I see that happen inside even previous capital. Like there's an analyst who told him something, or sometimes even if I tell him something, it's rarely he listens, but most of the time he listens to everybody and he learns. And I think the beginner's mind is what struck me. Many things struck me, but this struck me.
So over a drink we'll discuss later.
Yeah.
I don't drink. Sir, lemon juice. I also drink. What I was trying to say is, why doesn't he listen only to you? We'll get to that. But TTS, one instance of deep double clicking, he talks about it, that you need to not just skim through, you need to actually go into the numbers. Sometimes that you get the insights from details. Something that's happened with you, do you agree with that? Or do you feel leadership is different for different people?
I think in many ways our journeys were not dissimilar. I too started life in a foreign bank, and I spent most of the rest of my life financing truck drivers. Right? So that's the word I knew. It's still the only word I know. And I think in order to be a great leader, which Shyam certainly is, I think you need to have the smell of the trenches. Right? I don't mean to sound like an old cynical man, but it's great AI, Excel sheets, PowerPoints, they're all wonderful tools. But if you really want to know what the smell of battle is, you have to be in the trenches. And I love how Shyam brings so many different examples of how, he was there, right, in the trenches, the COVID situation, the flood, right? These are the things that stay with you for life. And if you've experienced either the pain or the joy of being with the boys and the girls in the trenches, I think those are things that leave a lasting impress on you.
Absolutely.
I saw a lot of that, and in fact, that's the first message I sent him after I finished reading the book. I said, we go back a bit, and I've known you well enough, but I didn't realize that there was so much similarity in our journeys. That's one of the things that really hit me. I actually told him that.
I was about to write the book, you written it. Anyway, but you know how to drive a truck then?
Sorry?
You know how to drive a truck?
I have driven a truck. I didn't do it for a living, but...
Yeah, because you got to get into the trenches. You got to finance truckers, you need to know how the trucking business works.
Yes,
That's what.
I knew what the trucker went through.
So what are you picking up now? Shyam is all full emotion. You okay? Charge.
Next script is getting ready.
Script is getting ready. Alright, so I'm going to wind up. We're going to stick to time. I've just taken about 30 seconds extra. Big round of applause to everybody. Thank you very, very much. Okay, I'm going to trade, because there is no place to sit, I'm going to trade place with Mr. Kamath. So he's going to come here, I'm going to go sit there. So we'll swap chairs, musical chair. Just a quick appeal to everybody. Kapil sir talked about reading, the need to learn to read. If you ever think you want to support a cause or channel, Raghuram Anantoj does Read India. He's trying to get young kids across schools to start reading regularly and make it a fun exercise. You go back to reading books. So if you guys want to champion or back somebody who's going to getting people to go back to read, well, he's the guy. Thank you.
What an unforgettable conversation that was, sir. A heartfelt thanks to you, Mr. Anand sir, for steering such discussion with warmth, depth and energy. I would like to thank the panel members as well for enthusiastically answering the questions that was answered. Thank you so much. We did not want the conversation to end, by the way, but at the expense of time, we are moving. Our next guest is someone known for his sharp insights, dynamic leadership and inspiring professional journey. I now invite Mr. Vinay Kamath to please join us on stage.
So Shyam, just because Kapil has finished speaking, everybody's leaving now. No, they finished speaking, so everybody's leaving. Okay, Shyam, so I think we just have 10-15 minutes to have a quick chat, so let me just plunge into it. So many months ago, you and I sat down to try and do something about your book, and then finally I told you, look Shyam, this book resides in your mind. It's you got to write it. And so finally, when push came to shove, what finally motivated you to get on with the book?
Yeah, the background is for about a few months after I left the bank, I was really doing nothing in terms of writing, and I started writing on it. Many people said, why don't you make that into a book? And the easiest thing I thought was take a big compilation of all the content and get help from Vinay or somebody to write it for you. The wise man that Vinay said was, somebody else writing a story will never work, you give it a shot. But I see in the book in my introduction, I was quite easy about it. To write a book is, I now discover, not an easy task. It's okay to write a few lines, but to compile it in a cogent manner was quite a task. So I started looking around how to go about it. I even tried to entice Vinay to write it for me. But wisely he said, it's in your hand, you have to do it. So after a few months, I said, let me give it a shot. And that's how it was born. And then I discovered my young colleagues, wiser team, Yash is here, Utkarsh is here, Tanvi is here. they turned out to be an outstanding helping team. Right? They just helped me say, boss, keep going. So one chapter after the other. It also happened that my nieces and nephew, I think one of them is there, Sumedha is there. Right? They became my sounding board. They belong to the 20s and 30s in the age group. So I said, if I have to appeal to that audience, I may as well use their wisdom. So I kept turning out script, and along the way I say in the book, I befriended Claude and Jeffrey and for punchlines and scripts, and it just turned out that each story that I wrote, they said, it reads well. So that sort of motivated me, and it took me about 100 odd days of 8-9 hours a day, and put together. Sent the script to my wife in early March. She refused to eat till then. She said, if you give it a shot, I don't know what will come out of it, but if something good comes out, we'll talk. So I sent her a script, and she beautifully wrote that for opening note. Right? On March 6th, she said, wow, something interesting is emerging. And then that changed, because she jumped in and helped me refine it, clean it up, and book was content. So, yeah, it started with my writing individual sheets of paper, putting out notes, then the conversation with you pushing me to say, boss, write a book, make it your own words, me being a little lazy, then the young family supporting me, then finding my good friends and advisor, then the vice lady stepping in and helping me. Thank you very much.
Great to hear that. So Better Never Stops. What are the context of this book title which you have given? You mentioned somewhere it's a signboard you saw somewhere that kind of inspired you to give the title for your book.
My outstanding teammates, like you guys can stand up, Arvind, Thomas, Rahul, all these awesome teammates. These guys are another level of special. So these young guys have had the brunt of my yarn, and I have this thing about being happily dissatisfied. Which is what I genuinely believe in it, right? The moment a leader says, I say that in the book, words like, I'm satisfied, words like, enough, comfortable, I ban these words, I don't like these words. That automatically puts a limitation on you. So I prescribe this theory of being happily dissatisfied. I'm never unhappy, but I'm always dissatisfied. It was June 25 when I was watching, as everybody knows, I'm a cricket maniac, and I had some time, and I was watching the Edgbaston test in second or third test. Not live, not in the ground, on the television. There was one of those runners which said, better never stops. That sort of stuck in my head, and I said, that's really what happily dissatisfied is, and a better way to say the same thing. So that's how Better Never Stops was born. And so in my mind, I had found the title, I had a lot of raw material, I had to work my backside off to make it a script. I do think it's come out quite well. But Better Never Stops is the best expression of being happily dissatisfied.
Right. Since you love cricket analogies, Kapil Dev's 175 not out, that catch to dismiss with favorite cheers, winning the World Cup, were the defining moments of his career. So what were the defining moments of your career if you were to equate this with Kapil's career?
I don't think I have anything as sexy as that. But I think he said it quite well, and I probably echo that, right? Much is made about moments that somehow you reflect back. I think it's a continuum. At all points in time, something we achieved sounds good. I remember when the bank hit its first 1,000 crore profit, it looked like a great achievement. Today that looks like pocket change. Right? Banks do that in a quarter or less. So I think at different points in time, the milestone changes. But for me, the joy comes in when when the team or a person I have engaged with has accomplished and is getting a recognition. That is a better signature of me being able to influence them than some number on scoreboard. So I think the jollies I have got, and I hopefully will continue to get, I'd like for that to multiply like crazy. In fact, the idea of the book is in some ways that, and I do hope people who read this, almost nothing in the book is an experience uniquely mine. Any of you, PTS and I were in a flight, he and I work together as an RBI advisory capacity, so we often fly together, and the most recent flight we were there, he was reading the book. And he said, nah, it is not like that. This is almost the same set of experiences that we've had. And in the past 10 odd days when people have been to me reading the book, everybody seems to believe that they have shared that experience themselves. So to me, it's the ability for every experience that people have had, try and give meaning to it through something. If the book doesn't have 5 best ways to achieve success or 10 things to do to accomplish something, definitely I don't know. But I know acronyms. If you see something, I'll try to stitch some story to make an acronym and try to give a message to that.
So why do you love acronyms so much? There's so much of that in the book as well.
Sometimes an activity and you want to tell a story, you have to find something that others can latch on. Big scripts, long essays, long talks, people just. I talk about it in the book. I was in Madurai maybe in 2012 or 13, I think 13, doing the convocation address for a bunch of young kids. And we had also recruited students from that into the bank. So many months later, one of the guys whom I recruited was in a training center, and I thought I would have a chat with him. What did I say in that speech? Basically, he didn't remember a damn what he said. But he said, I think sir used something called agile. And that was my acronym. It was agility. So at least remember some part. So I think the acronym is a nice mnemonic for people to latch on to something. Everybody, and couple said best. Most people don't read. Most people don't spend time doing that. But they all like to have something as a hook for their conversation. I think acronyms is a nice way of communicating. I can see Shalini in the audience who's telling one more acronym and I'm quitting on you. Right? She lived with me for 25 years listening to all these things. Thank you, Shalini.
So Shyam, your book is full of cricket analogies, and how has cricket, helped you, in your career? Apart from getting to know Kapil Dev, how else?
No, I tell you, anyone know the Srinivasan days are here. It's not my days. My Srinivasan days are here. Kaushik is there, Kalpana is there, Kalyan is there, Manch is there, Anil is there. I got to Srinivasan not because I was a great academic or whatever. My then boss, bless his soul, he passed away. I walked into an interview. This was 90. And he looked at me and he looked at my CV. I was captain of the IIM cricket team. He looked at my CV and said, "You captain?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Wait." He went out, asked another batchmate of mine who had already joined Srinivasan, and came back and said, "You're hired." Because the guy said, "Yes, he was a good cricketer." So that was the secret of getting into banking. The rest, thankfully, is not aware. But yeah, my cricket helped me get a job. That's right.
So that was Ashok Dutt. Right. Shyam, let me just focus on one chapter of the book. You've been rather candid in that, where you talked to, you call it the mom test, and you say there was practice of getting your score in the Hindu, you scored 25, and you try to borrow runs from somebody else so that you would nudge over that 25 score. But then your coach kind of kicked you off, and can you narrate that story for our audience? I think you've been very candid, and what were your learnings from that story?
Sure. This was 77. That's long, many years ago. 77 or 70? Yeah, 77. Firstly, I have to go back to my cricket and obsession about the game. So we used to have this inter-school matches and inter-house matches. The one Satyajit very dear friend of ours, the 15th or 16th, who's not there today, but he's probably in the US watching it today. I got out at, I think, 23. Oh no, so 11. He comes back and at the top of the stadium, and I was going back into the pavilion, he makes fun of me saying, Shyam, now I've got a paper score, but only if we had 3 games together. That's why I it's an insult in front of so many people. I told myself, Jesus, this cannot happen. But on that day, I went up to our coach, because there was this generation here, right? Those days, the scorekeeping was a methodical, very exciting process. Only the most disciplined people could do that. Would have dots, and then sometimes looking at me, I'm sure you see this, right? The way they will, if it's a maiden over, if 6 balls are bowled and all are no runs, but M will happen. So it's an outstanding kind of scorekeeping. So this, I was 23 and another dear friend of mine was 24. And we thought, this can somehow get into the paper, because 25 is when you get to the paper score. In life, moksha was when your paper score happens. Next day morning, Hindu mein, that corner, right corner, sports page, Shyam or X or Y, 25 happened. Or 3 wickets or 25. I was not a bowler, so 25 was the only way to get into the paper score. So we didn't. We were 23 and 24. We thought it's a great idea. Actually, I'm giving away the book, but anyway, right? We go to this Pawan good boy, where do we score 11? And tell him, boss, me and Brenda today, I'm going to do it. Anyway, you are scoring. We will make 25. Let's put it in the paper. Life is very proudly, the deal struck went to Aditya, our coach. I don't know where he is, but he's passed on. And I was standing there, when his square cut, actually, that was better than Vishwanath. Outstanding. Outstanding. That is the that I talked to you about. Right? So, Ms. Aditya told me, quite a telling line. Dad, in pure Tamil, chase some words I can't use. Dad, game over, end of the story. But that, he taught me that famous line of, can you tell mom? And rest is I use that all my whole life in the bank, and I say, you don't need big compliance manual, you need some massive story, the RBI circular. Whatever you do, can you tell mom? Game on. You can't tell mom, game over.
I think we are kind of run out of time, but let me just ask you one last question. Your target would be a pretty much a young audience. What would you say would be the key takeaways from this book for them?
And I say this very often. One is just show. 2, don't give up. 3, believe in the opportunity. And in many ways, that's what this book is about. Right? I think I said this at a stage. If I can, anybody can. And I think it's you don't claim to have the best academic records or anything like that. But if you're doing show today, and many of you have come here to acknowledge that, I'm actually saying that Srinivasan can, anybody can, and that is the message I want to share with everybody. Just show up, be there, don't give up, win is yours. It will come, I mean, it's just impossible not to. That's what I would say.
Yeah, and that note, thank you, Shyam. Now I guess the people know the book.
Thank you. Please read the book.
Thank you so much, Vinay sir. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we're waiting for is here. An evening filled with stories, conversations, and inspiration now brings us to the most special moment. The official launch of Better Never Stops. So with excitement in our hearts and applause that fills this room with energy, let us witness the launch of a book that is ready to inspire countless readers. Are we ready for this? I now call request Mr. Gopal Srinivasan, Mr. Srinivasa Raghav, K. Mahalingam, Mr. Mithun Sacheti, Mr. Kapil Dev sir to Please join us on stage. Mrs. Maya ma'am, please come up on stage. I now request entire family of Mr. Shyam Srinivasan sir to please join us on stage. On the count of congratulations, Mr. Author Shyam sir. Thank you. Sir, can we have a group photo, please? Kapil Dev sir, please accept this gift from our side. What a beautiful gift to be gifted, sir.
If I may say a word here, I think there's a section in the book about Kapilji, and it's not about his cricket at all. When he visited our home in 2011 in Kochi, he just floored us with his simplicity. He was just so happy to eat appam and stew out of a bowl, and he just ignored everything else. But what was amazing was that after that he was willing to pose for pictures with every single member, whoever wanted to get pictures with him. And each time he stopped to take a picture, each time he posed for a picture, he would actually stop the conversation and he would completely focus on the picture. And what he said afterwards was amazing. He said that his mom had told him that, it is the love of all his fans that makes him what he is, even though his scores are there, but it's really that love. I think Shyam chose to write about that, the beauty of the human being that Kapil is, and the role that his mom had, and that is what we have depicted in this gift that we have made for him. My only regret is that the page on which we write about him is page 173. It should have been page 175.
Thank you so much, team. As a mark of love and affection, I now request Mr. Gopal sir to please accept the signed miniature bags. Second is Mr. Mali. Mr. Srinivasan. Mr. Vinay. Mr. Anand. Mr. Hari. Mr. Vasu. And Mr. Mithun. Mr. Anand. One group picture, sir, with everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. Please stay back. Please stay back. The event is not over. Please have your seats. We are now going to watch an AV about the book on what it has to offer to the readers. I request everyone to please be seated.
Accolades. But a
We
few
still have
spend it
few
asking
more
a harder
segments to go.
question. Not, how do I get to the top, but how do I keep getting better no matter where I am? Shyam Srinivasan spent 35 years in banking, across India, the UAE and Southeast Asia, asking exactly that. This book is what came out of those years, an honest, unguarded account of difficult calls, quiet recoveries, and the unglamorous years that build something lasting. Shyam writes about walking into a new role in Kuala Lumpur, only to watch half his leadership team resign in a single morning, all following a predecessor they adored. Panicking wasn't an option. Business still had to run. He showed up and found a way to bounce back stronger. He writes about the grandfather's bill, the idea that every leader inherits a tab someone else ran up, and is running a tab for the one who comes after them. Shyam introduces Joshiji, a dahi vada vendor at Indore, who has spent 20 years perfecting a 20-foot toss of the vada. That's what it sometimes takes to make an act a spectacle. He writes about the CrowdStrike outage that froze his board presentation mid-sentence. It taught him about how the people who actually run an organization can be overlooked until a problem strikes. He explains the significance of making dull work feel important and exciting, and the discipline to stay alert when things are moving slow,